Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kelvin, your host of Situations, the podcast.
And I'm your co-host, Miss Deanna. What's up, everybody?
Hey, everybody out there doing today. Diana, how you feel today?
I'm actually feeling pretty good today. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. Okay. Well, as you know, today is another episode of Situations, the podcast, and today we have a very.
Hmm.
Um, I kind of chose this topic wisely because I'm starting to see a lot of people talking about high value men versus high value women. So I figured
Okay.
we'll discuss that and give us our put our input in and
Okay.
trying to shine some light on the high value men and the high value women. Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay. So today's topic is the title of today's episode is High Value Men and Women: The Truth Behind What
Hmm.
Makes Them Irresistible and Misunderstood.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna kick the show off like this. I'm gonna kick it off with the first question. What qualifies and defines a high value man
Um,
in your personal
I
in your
guess
personal opinion?
because I was gonna say the obvious would be, you know, women always talk about how much a man make, but to me, that wouldn't determine high value.
Okay.
I just think it's overall quality of life, like
Okay.
everything about him,
Right.
his integrity, the way he carry himself, the physical appearance, things that matter to him,
Okay.
the way that he speaks, stuff like that. To me, all those things fall under high value. Not just like what a person has or anything like that. More so
Right.
like their total lifestyle, in every area of their life.
Okay. Well, let me give you my take on it.
Okay.
Finances has it plays a certain role. I'm gonna say that how
Right.
much a man makes or how much a woman makes plays a certain role when you consider yourself a high value.
Right.
Also, a high value man is more or less self confident, emotional intelligent, responsible.
Right.
With professional goal driven. That's what I
Right.
think. When you speak in a high value of a high value man, someone that's respectful, and kindness to other individuals. I think that's what
Right.
qualifies the
But
man.
I agree with that. But that's why I say you can't necessarily say finances all the time because somebody could be rich and they inherit it, or however they got the money and can be disrespectful and ignorant as hell. You know what I'm saying? So that would make them high value.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Just because the individual has finances and lack all the other aspects, you're right.
Right.
It doesn't make them a high value. So it's not just based on finances. I think it's based on more than just finances.
Right. That's why I said every area of their life, integrity, how they treat other people, all of that. So
Right, because you got to check off. When you consider yourself a high value woman or a high value man, you have to check off a lot of boxes to fit that category. To me,
right. To
that's
me too.
that's what I think. It ain't just about how much a person makes.
Right. Right.
You know, but like I say, in today's society, I think the world. How do I want to say this? I think personally, I think today's society, everything is evolving so fast. Like, for an example, a lot of people are starting to talk high value.
Right.
A few months back, I'll say about a year or so ago, you wasn't hearing nothing about a high value. People wasn't talking about being a high value. Everybody was just only
Right.
speaking on, well, the women, I should say, was only speaking on what the man can do for them.
Mhm.
As far as, if you're not making a certain amount of money, they don't deal with these type of individuals. So I guess,
Right.
you understand what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
So society today is moving so fast. It's kind of hard to explain what I'm really trying to say. But
No, I get it.
yeah, because like I say, not everybody wants to be a high value this or a high value man or a high value woman. But
They
now
need to
you got
do
to
some
check these
internal
boxes
work
off,
first.
huh?
Exactly. I said
Right.
a lot of people gonna have to do some internal work first.
Absolutely. That's basically what I'm trying to say. You got to check these boxes off. If you ain't checking these boxes off, then how could you ever consider yourself to be high value anything?
Right.
Okay. What does it mean for a woman to be high value in today's society?
I mean, what everybody would look at a high value woman.
Well, hold on. Let me
Okay,
stop
quote
you. Let
unquote.
me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there.
Hmm.
I'm gonna ask you that question again.
Okay.
What does it mean for a woman to be high value in today's society? I'm asking you personally.
Um, I would say a woman that's intelligent. She's intentional about everything she does. Pretty much. She could be independent and make her own money, but she's not saying she don't need a man. She
Okay.
values and respects the man as well, and she don't waste her time on anything that's not serving her. Like the cattiness with other women or trying to fit into groups. To me, most high value women are loners until they find other women that you know match their energy. The energy,
Right.
not so much of what they have, but just the energy where they feel like it may be a safe place to be like, okay, we gonna have our own sisterhood or something like that.
Okay. I can agree with that. But also too, a high value woman also knows her worth. You know, have
Absolutely.
self respect, and that's what I
Right.
think a lot of women are lacking today in today's society is self respect.
Yeah.
So they can never check those boxes. If you
Right.
lacking self respect and don't always settle for less. Know your worth.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's what's really important when it comes to a woman knowing or considering even being considered to be a high value woman.
I agree with that.
Okay, let me ask you this: Are
Hmm.
high value men and women only defined by their careers or their income?
No, and I think we just touched on that. No.
Right, we did,
No.
but I wanted to get into a little more in depth.
No, they're not just defined by their incomes because you can meet somebody out or encounter them and be like, damn, they was a total asshole. Like you could have respect for them, you know, from afar if you became aware of who they are and what they did because of their job status or maybe a company that they had or something. Then when you actually meet them in person, you'd be like, oh, it's not a person I wouldn't even want in my space or energy like ever.
Right.
That would make them high value.
Okay.
So it just goes back to the integrity, self-respect, treating others kindly.
Yeah. Integrity, character, empathy.
Right,
All
right.
that resilience, all that plays a factor.
It does.
Yeah, I agree with that. So with that being said, how does self confidence play a role in being a high value person?
I think it starts with like trusting yourself first. When you can block out all the outside noise and distractions and really just sit down and focus on the things that you want, write some stuff down, come up with a clear plan and steps that's gonna get you there, then you're on your way.
Okay.
Surrounding yourself with people who know more than you, seeking out information and people in the field that you're trying to go into, all
Right.
of that, plays a part in that versus being around people who put ceilings and caps on themselves and the only advice they gonna have for you is how that's gonna happen or you ain't gonna be able to do that. Ain't nobody, stuff like that. And it's like that's not it's just how value means making better choices too.
Right. Right. Okay. It also self confidence plays a major, major role in that, and it allows high value individuals to remain grounded.
It does.
Just staying focused, tight knitted,
Right.
and just staying grounded. I think also plays
Right.
a major factor in considering when you're considering high value
I
individuals.
agree. I
Okay.
agree.
So
And I could kind of say I think I kind of lost my footing in that, because for so long I was around so many people that would be like, "Oh, she thinks she all that. She thinks she this. She thinks she that." And the people that really know me know I don't. But it was like I kind of did my own light to make other people feel comfortable by,
right,
because when I say I used to get dressed every single day, and I was going out and I was like, it's gonna be an amazing day today. Some great opportunities are gonna come my way today. I'm gonna meet some amazing people. I always walk with my head held high, everything like that or whatever. And it was like I always got criticized for it. But it was like I started to realize like it's not me. I love
right.
myself. You know what I'm saying? You have to go within yourself. That's what I'm saying. Like things can't make you feel like that. You are. It comes from self esteem. That's why it's called self.
Right. And what's wrong? What's wrong with feeling good about yourself? What's wrong with having that self confidence? What's wrong with holding yourself above normal standards? What's wrong with that?
It's nothing wrong with it. But that's what I'm saying. It was like it was just so many people around me that made it seem like it was an issue because I did those things. But I'm like, I'm not bothering you. I'm not belittling you. I'm being kind. I'm still just being me. And I'm gonna
Right.
always give myself the utmost respect. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I just had to look at it and I'm like, that's a them problem. That's not a me problem because I'm not doing anything but showing up.
Right.
It's who I am.
Okay. I mean, well, like I say, everybody is not that high. Everybody is not high value. That shows you right there. Everybody does not
Right.
have what it takes to even be considered to be a high value woman or a high
Yeah.
value man because they don't understand what it takes to be a
Right.
high value individual. That is it's simple.
Right. So in that situation, what I could do, I just started eliminating people around me. I started removing myself.
Okay.
Because I'm like, you're not gonna make me feel uncomfortable because I'm just being me because you feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to figure that out. That's I'm not doing anything to you. So you have
Right.
to figure that out.
Well, I agree with you. You know, sometimes you have to do that. You have to eliminate. That's the only way you're going to evolve as a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
You know.
I'm on that journey and I'm feeling amazing right now. I can say that.
Okay. So you're on a journey. You feeling good. So that brings us to our next question. Why is it? Why
Okay.
is emotional intelligence essential in a high value woman or a high value man?
It's very important because for one, you got to keep your emotions in check. And the more time that you spend with yourself and around people that are like-minded and respect you, along with you respecting yourself first, then the energy is going to be right. Your emotions are going to be in check. They're not going to be erratic all over the place.
Right.
And so you're going to have a better outcome versus you going back to being around other people that they got you second guessing yourself. You trying to be a people pleaser, making everybody else happy, dimming your light. And now you not even have value no more because you done lowered your standards and you done failed to where they were, to where they
Right.
are.
Absolutely. Emotional intelligence enable understanding and empathy. You know, you have to have emotional intelligence. You
Right.
have to have, that's the only way you're gonna be able to understand what high value really truly means and to
Yeah,
even be able to be mentioned in that type of scenario.
absolutely.
Do high value men and women also approach relationships differently?
I believe so.
Yeah, I do.
I believe so.
Because
I definitely believe so.
I figure like this: if you're gonna consider yourself a high value man or a high value woman, there's only a certain standard that you look for.
Right.
Or because if let's say for instance you're a high value you're a high value man, okay. If
Hmm.
you're a high value man, you're only going to attract a certain type of woman.
Right.
And if you're a high value woman, you're only going to attract a certain type of man. you know
I'm. I mean, I don't know. I think people attract everything,
yeah, but
but it's
is your standard. I agree. Men will attack anything. I will say that men will attack anything, but if you are a high value woman and your bar is way up here,
Right.
Okay, if your bar up here, it's going to take a lot for the average man to even get on that level.
You're right.
You know,
You're
it's
right.
so that's why when I say it takes a certain type of individual, a certain type of man to even make you even look that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
you're not of that caliber, if you're not in that realm, if you're not financially stable,
Right.
you're not going to get no play. You're not. She's not going to even look your way.
Right.
That's
And
basically
not to
what I'm saying.
even basic off just materialistic things or clothes, but this guy was trying to talk to me and asking me out or whatever. And I was seeing like the way he was dressed or whatever. He had on George jogging suit, with the names all over the stuff and all this stuff. And I'm like, uh, you know, do you dress like this all the time? Or,
Right.
he like, yeah. I'm like, no. I mean, because the places I want to go, you can't dress like that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Everybody is not there. Everybody not there, and everybody not going to
Right,
be on that level. You know, you got to understand one thing. Like I say, when you're a high value man, you can have any woman that you want,
right,
or you're gonna attract that
right,
type of woman.
right,
You know what I mean? If you're not high value, if you're
right,
not considering yourself high value, you don't walk that walk, and you don't talk that talk, and you don't check those boxes off. Then no,
right,
it's not gonna work.
right.
It's not gonna work. So So in other words, high value men and women, you say they do approach relationships differently, or you say they don't approach relationships differently. I say they
I
do.
say they do. I
Okay.
say they
All right.
do.
All right, cool. Because I think, high value men and women, they prioritize healthy communication, respect, honesty in all relationships. And I think that makes a
Absolutely.
difference. They aren't afraid to walk away if their standards are not met.
Right,
You know, that's one thing about a high value man or woman. If the standards are not met, they're gonna you don't fit you're not flipping the bill. You don't fit the bill.
I agree. I
You
agree.
don't fit the bill. So, what are some signs? What do you look for? What are some signs of a high value partner?
Stability, time management, like you said, communication, um, just how they prioritize different things.
Right. Okay.
Just to name a few.
That I mean, that's them key. Those are them essential points. Those
Hmm.
definitely are essential points. That's what I was going to say. Those are essential. You spot on with those.
Okay.
Okay. Do high value individuals look similar in traits in a partner?
I would say yes.
Okay. Let's elaborate
Because
on
you
that a
got to
little bit.
think because if it's a high value person, that means they're willing to go the extra mile for things that they want, for the lifestyles that they want, for you know how they want to live and who and what they attract. Uh,
Okay.
a person of low value may be saying they tired, they don't want to go to work today, but the high value person already know they have a plan for their life and they know what it's going to take to get there, and they done already mapped out a plan from I got to do this for you know 12 months, for 2 years, for 3 years, or whatever case may be, and then I'll be here. So I know I have to stay focused if I want to get there versus the other person slacking off and not really caring about, how their life turned out, don't even have, a 6 month plan for their life.
Right. Okay. So, why are high value individuals often seen as more selective when it comes to dating? Why do you think that's so?
Why wouldn't they be? Because they have a lot to lose. Not
Okay.
even just so much as that. It's like they're putting the time in and the effort into being the best that they can be, showing up as their best self. So
Right.
they care about their surroundings. They care about who they interact with. They care about being respected, you know. So that's normally what they look for. Anything less than that is like I'm wasting my time.
Right, right. Yeah, because they know their worth. They don't want
Right,
to waste their time on relationships that don't align. If they don't have no
right,
value, if there's no value there, then it's a
right,
waste of time.
right.
And my theory is when it comes to relationships and things like that, it's like, this is just me, and if this is just my personal opinion,
Mhm.
if the relationship doesn't bring any value,
Right,
then I'm doing division.
right.
It's just simple.
But my whole thing is, I just feel like people need to communicate up front and early, like what you're looking for, what you want. We don't have to waste no time at all. For
Right,
real, it's like
right. I agree.
if if you say you want a woman to wait on you hand and foot, and I'm not the woman that's gonna do that, I'm gonna be like, I'm sorry, we just have a difference of an
A different
opinion or
approach.
what
Right.
or the things that we want. So it was nice meeting you. Wish you best of luck, and I hope you get everything that you want
Okay. Um,
because that's what you can't do. You can't get with somebody and want to change them into what you want them to be. The only way something is going to work if two people are naturally on board.
you're right. You're absolutely right. So, but let me ask you this then: can
Hmm.
someone become a high value individual later in life, or
Of
is that
course,
something that's inherited?
no.
Okay.
I think it's whenever the person uh set in their mind that they want to show up as their best self, and they're going to strive to do that and be that, then it can start happening for them.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because high value can absolutely be captivated. It can be captivated over time. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to have it right then and there. It's something that you can learn. Something that you
Right,
can learn. Yeah, you can learn from it. Um,
right,
always, basically, always there's room for improvement. That's basically what I'm trying to
right.
say. There's always some room for improvement.
I could say that because I feel like I'm there in my life. I've always strived for greatness and everything that I did. I was going through, some health stuff,
Right.
dealing with death. I just had my youngest daughter graduate and go to college. And I had always promised myself once the youngest one graduated and go to college, I could get back to myself because a lot of the money that I was making was going towards bills. And, both of my daughters still living at home and I'm paying for proms and graduations and, college and everything and stuff like that. So I really didn't have the time or the money to invest in other things that I wanted to do that would propel me, to my next level of what I wanted to do.
Right.
And some people around me didn't understand that or felt like I made excuses or whatever. But when you're a parent and you're hands on and, you're the dominant parent that's, taking care of a lot of the things, it's like you make the choice on, okay, I'm going to make sure I set them up first. And then once I get them okay, and once I get to this level where I said once she graduate and go to college, it's like, boom, now I can get back to, the things that I want to do.
Okay.
But I still wasn't saying like, oh, I'm in this particular place, and she's gone to college and stuff like that, where I'm just settling for anything or anybody. No, I still have a particular standard that I want, or how I want to be treated, how I want to be approached, and the people that I entertain.
Okay. And there's definitely nothing wrong with that. That's what make you a high value woman.
Yeah,
Knowing your worth. You
right.
have to know your worth. So speaking of knowing your worth, is there
Hmm.
a way you can tell if somebody's pretending to be a high value man?
Absolutely. When the actions don't line up with the words,
Okay.
you saying all of this stuff, but it's just not lining up.
Right. And another way you can tell too is like a high value man don't need to brag or even seek validation. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Right.
So when you don't have to brag on, it's like the aura that your aura, pretty
Right.
much. If you got that aura, and you don't have to brag about it. People see it. People
Right.
understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, because you do have them out here. They try to manipulate you to make you think one thing, and you shouldn't. Well, let me skip past that. No, I was going to say something, but I better
Say
just
it.
no.
Say it.
No, 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 no. But
No,
anyway,
I had this guy one time. He like, trying to talk to me or whatever. And I'm like, no, thank you and stuff like that. And he like, money not an issue or whatever. And then the man gave me some money or whatever. I didn't ask for it. So he like shoved it in my hands, whatever. And I'm like, okay or whatever, but this doesn't mean anything.
right,
But then was complaining, down the road about some other stuff. But who told you to leave with your money in the first place? And you throwing out that money is not an issue when I never asked you for anything.
right. Yeah, that's how you can. That's pretty much how you can.
Right.
They're telling themselves.
Like,
You
sir,
know,
who asked you any of that?
okay. Well, let me ask you this:
Okay.
why do high value men and women attract envy or criticism? Because this is why I think
Because
a lot
people
of misunderstood. A lot of people get misunderstood when it comes to this
because
type of
people
individual.
people mistake it for arrogance when actually they just have a clear, concise, you know, vision of who they are and what they want, and they're not bending on it. I just learned in life because I'm like I've been a victim of it, people pleasing, trying to make people happy. It doesn't even matter. But because you're doing things in a certain way and you standing firm on what you believe, like your words is, aligning with your actions and you not breaking from that, now it's something wrong with you.
Right,
If you set a goal and you had a truck and you was like, I'm getting me a new truck in 6 months and then you get it, oh here she go again. She always thinks she doing something. No, I'm actually doing it.
right, right.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? It's like, what are you mad for? And if it's obtainable for me to do it, that means you can do it too.
Right,
So instead of being envious, why don't you say, can you give me some tips or how did you do that? You know what I'm saying? It's like I think when people be lacking things internally, that's what triggered them to be insecure and envious of other people. It's the insecurity is the outpour of what's missing on the inside. That's what I believe.
right. Well, yeah, my take on that. My take on it is, high value individuals often stand out for their confidence,
Hmm.
their independence and their standards, which may also make people that's not on their level feel insecure. That's my take.
Right.
That's how I feel about it. Um, it's
But
like I
that's what I'm
said,
saying. You're
it's the
doing
aura.
something, they're doing things and they're living their life showing up just being them and they're being consistent versus someone who probably said they was going to do something and then didn't do it,
Right.
or someone who's lacking something and now they're looking at them saying they think them all that, but they work for that.
Okay. I agree. I agree with you. Well, I'm gonna ask you one more question, then I'm gonna play this commercial break.
Okay.
Uh, what roles do personal growth play in becoming a high value individual?
You said what roles?
Yes. What roles does personal growth play in becoming a high value individual?
It plays a lot. Personal growth. I feel like you at some point in time in your life, you have to spend some time with yourself, and most will call it selfish.
Okay.
But you have to be that. So I'm saying I want to become this high value woman, or I want to have a successful business, or whatever I'm striving for. But all of my friends want to keep asking me to go out every weekend and want to keep calling me with gossip about. their relationships or other friends or just different situations that they dealing with. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. I'm blocking all of it out. I'm blocking them, and I'm staying, on my track of personal growth for myself. Uh, eating well. Getting rest. I probably like people call me an old lady because I be in the bed at 8 o'clock at night, but I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So that's my journey of personal growth. You know what I'm saying? But what works for me not gonna work for you. But if I listen to you, I'm not gonna be on my way to high anything.
All right. Hold on one second.
Looking to boost your brand? Advertise with Situations, the podcast where real life stories meet real time conversations. Reach engaged listeners and grow your business today.
Okay. Um, okay, let me ask you this then. Let me say,
Okay.
do high value men and women always prioritize on relationships?
Do they always prioritize long relationships?
Yeah, long term relationships. Do they always prioritize them?
I don't think so. I think depending on what's going on in their lives and what's happening, um, sometimes, they might want to keep in contact with a person, or, you know, it might be something like where it's not long term. Because they
Okay,
could be working on really big projects where they don't actually have the time, but they still want the connection with the person.
okay. I agree.
You see what
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
think,
So
right.
it may not be quote unquote in their mind, oh, I want a long term something with you, because they're still keeping at the forefront of the things that they are trying to accomplish.
Right. I agree with that. Because many high value individuals, they don't want to, like you say, they don't want to rush into meaningful relationships. They want to focus on the compatibility to make sure you're compatible to one another
Right,
before they even commit to something long term.
right.
So yeah, I can see that. Um, Self respect. Why is self respect crucial for high value individuals?
It's gotta be. That's like top on the list, because if you don't have self respect, you're not gonna be a high value anything. That means you have lack of boundaries. People could just walk all over you. They could tell you anything. You're always gonna be in crazy situations with different people because you're not respecting yourself.
Okay, that's true. That's true. From experience, I know high value people. They don't allow disrespect or even tolerate unworthy relationships. They don't.
Right,
It's not gonna happen. It's definitely not gonna
right,
happen. So yeah, I can see where that can go left real fast.
right.
So with that being said, we talked about self respect. Now let's talk
Hmm.
about the rejection part of it.
Okay.
How do high value men and women handle rejection? What's your take? How do you think they handle rejection?
I think they handled it well. It's just like that just wasn't in the cards for me.
Okay, natural part of life.
Right.
Okay, so we on the same page. Yeah, people like that don't they don't I don't think they take it personally. You know,
Right.
I think they look at it more like it's just it's business.
Right.
Nothing, no loss, no gain.
Right.
Can someone with troubled past become a high value person?
Yes.
Okay, let's elaborate on that.
I mean, they didn't went through everything already, so they already know what the lows are, and I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure they have learned a lot of life lessons.
Okay,
So shit, they know all of what to don't do. Now it's to what to do,
what to do? Absolutely,
or what I'm gonna do.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, but it's like, hey, you done went through the past struggles.
Right.
Now it's time to build some resilience and some wisdom and some compromising.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think this is I think we have to find something a little more challenging. You know, because I think this has just been too easy. I just like I said, I be looking at this stuff, on the internet
Mhm.
where individuals be talking and be like they can't wrap their head around what's really going on, and I don't understand why not. When you're speaking of high value, if you want to be considered, especially women, if you want to be considered a high
Right.
value woman, you got to have some sort of self respect.
Right.
It starts with self respect. If you don't have any self respect,
Right.
you can never ever consider yourself a high value woman. You can't check that box off. For an
Right.
example, um, I was watching a clip from a previous podcast
Mhm.
on the internet, and the guy and the woman was talking about high value men and high value women,
Okay.
and she was considering herself a high value woman,
Mhm.
but she had a guy, and she said that her guy allows her to be intimate with other women.
With other women?
Yeah, with other women. He was allowing her to be intimate with other women. So he asked her. The host asked her, was like, "Well, are you intimate with other men? Are are you do your guy allow you to be intimate with other men?" And she said, "No, I
Right.
got standards. I'm a high value woman." Okay,
But
so I'm
how
saying to
does it?
myself,
How do,
right? How does that make you a high
how
value
do you
woman?
put a how do you put the double standard on the standard?
I don't get that.
It's either
And
you are or it's a green light or it's a red light. That's why I be telling people, be direct with me. You can't hurt my feelings with being direct.
right, but I just don't understand how she consider herself to be a high value woman, but you around her sleeping with other women, and you saying you don't sleep with men because it's a certain standard that you hold. Um, so I don't get that. So then when he told her, well, I don't think you're a high value woman. I,
Mhm.
first of all, your man is not a high value man, and you're not a high value woman. If your man is allowing you to do these sort of things
Right.
outside of your predominant relationship, then you can never be a
Right.
high value woman. So the show went left. The show went left real quick because I think he touched a nerve when he told her that. So she
Of
got
course.
heated.
And that's
She started getting disrespectful and threw a drink in his face, and the show
mhm.
went left. So basically, if you don't have any self respect, and
Right.
I just brought that up because women, to be considered a high value woman, you have to have it start with self respect. It's simple.
Right. Right. But that's what
Okay,
I'm saying. You could always tell when somebody is triggered about something or whatever. It's like if I don't agree with what you're saying or I'm making a valid point on what you said you are, why are you getting mad if it don't bother you? Because if you're a high value woman, then it wouldn't even bother you.
absolutely, absolutely right. Well, we got a chat here. We
Okay.
got Mac. Mac, what's going on? We see you. We see you tuned in. We appreciate you once again. Okay, Mac State made a comment. He said, "Who decides what's high value?" Well, Mac, I'm gonna say this: your own personal growth decides what's high value. Um,
Right.
your individual. Can't no one determine if you high value or not. Is you. You set the standards for your high value.
Right.
If you want to be a high value man, there's certain boxes that must be checked off, and you must
Right.
carry yourself a certain way, and you must act a certain way to be considered a
Right.
high value. You have to send out that aura. If you send that aura out, then people around you gonna know this
Right.
man
They'll
is of,
see it.
of some importance.
Right.
That's who considers high value.
Right.
Okay. Well, let me say this then. Why is it that authenticity is important in high value men and or women?
I mean, if you're pretending to be somebody else, you not even have value at all because you're not even being your authentic self first and foremost. You see what I'm saying? Like, how you saying you're this, but you're not even walking in the real person of who you are.
Okay. I can see where you're going with that authenticity.
Because
That
if you seeing me and you saying you're attracted to me, but my friend and did my hair. I got on her clothes. I'm driving her car, and you come see me, and I'm at her condo. You looking at me like all this stuff is mine, and I'm telling you, I do this, I got this, I work here, I make this or whatever. You're believing what I'm saying, and it's all a hoax. That don't make me have value when you find out the truth.
Right.
It's a scam.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Max said, he said, we all have different values. You're absolutely right. We all do have different
We
values.
do.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Max. Would you consider yourself to be a high value man? You personally, do you consider yourself to be a high value man? Let me answer that for me. Well, you're definitely right, though, Tiana. Authenticity is definitely the core to being a high value individual. Like I said, you have to be genuine. You have to be real about everything it is that you do. You have to show
Right.
compassion. You have to be considerate. All these
Right.
things, you know, make you authentic.
Right.
Okay, he said, hell yes, I guess he considered himself to be a high value man. Okay, Mac, let me ask you this. What makes you, don't just say yes, you're a high value man. What makes you a high value man? That's the point I'm trying to get. I want you to tell me exactly what makes you a high value man and why we get that response. Then I'm gonna run this advertisement again. Okay, hold on one second.
Okay.
Looking to boost your brand? Advertise with Situations, the podcast where real life stories meet real time conversations. Reach engaged listeners and grow your business today. Looking to
Okay, I think today's show. I think we had some bullet points, some good point of
Yeah.
views on this topic today. You
Me
know,
too.
he said that he's honest. Okay, it's a lot more to
That's
being high
that.
value
That's
than just being honest.
right.
It's
Cause you
go ahead,
could you
Tiana.
could be honest saying I'm sleeping with 10 people, and that don't make you have value.
Right. Yeah. So Mac, like I say,
So
it's a difference when we saying high value. What makes a high
right.
value man or what makes a high value woman? It's qualifications that you have to meet your standards. First of all, let me give you an example of what I mean. A high value man is a person that's self confident, emotionally intelligent, responsible, work towards personal growth and goals, has
Right.
value, like you say, honesty, and work with others and be kind. You have to.
Right.
A lot of people might tell you. A lot of people might mention finances, but it's not necessarily always your finances. You have to hold other values, and you got to
Right.
walk a certain way. You got to walk with your head up a certain way. You got to have your chest out.
Right.
That's what makes you of some importance to be considered a high value man.
Right.
He said that. Let's see what he said. Hey, give me one second, Deanna.
Okay.
He said, I took the test. The test. I took the test. High study. Hold on, let me try to dissect what he said here. So it looks like he said he took a test or a study and he scored high to be a high value man. Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. It wasn't just honesty on there. If he took a test, they asked him multiple questions about, his mindset, his integrity. I mean, it was different questions on there that led to them giving him that high score on putting him in a high value percentile.
Right. Yeah, because like I said, it's definitely a lot more than being honest.
Right.
To be
It's just not based on one thing.
right.
It's kind of
Absolutely.
all around the board.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree. Okay, well, um, I think another we had another successful show because, like I said, we breeze through these so fast.
I swear.
It's too easy. Let me run this. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm the one and only JT, and welcome to Situations, where we dive deep into the real, raw, and often complicated realities of modern relationships and life's curveballs. With your host, Kelvin, and co host, Thiana, and with each episode, we tackle everything from love, trust, and betrayal to empowerment, resilience, and the psychology of attraction. You're not just listening to a podcast. You're joining a community that keeps it 100% real. So whether you're tuning in to get advice, learn from real life stories, or just to vibe with us, get ready. This is Situations, the podcast.
Okay, JT, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Tiana, anything
Yes.
you wanna close out with?
Um, I would just say, just speaking on the topic of being high value, I feel like it's something everyone should strive for. Uh, you know, just go within. Start within first. Have some integrity and some honesty and some, just some type of vision, for yourself, some dignity, self-respect, all of that, like everything we listed above. Just start there and then start figuring out what you want to do with yourself. Sit down, write out some steps, try to come up with a plan and start working towards that. It's not that hard to become a high value person. You just have to stay focused on what you want to do and don't let the outside noise and people's opinions tell you what you should be doing. You know what feels good to you. People can overthink a lot of things, but you can't make up a feeling. If it feels good to you and integrity stands behind it, honesty stands behind it, and you actually seeing yourself growing from it, then I say keep doing it.
Okay, tell everybody where they can find you.
You guys can reach me on Facebook, Deanna Chester, Instagram, Miss Deanna, or Elite Glamour Girls.
Okay, everybody, and you already know I'm your host, Kelvin. You can catch us at Situations the Podcast. You can also catch me at Royal Divas Mag on Instagram, at Situations the Podcast on Instagram. But most importantly, we ask that you guys get over to our YouTube channel at Situations the Podcast. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you tune in weekly. Every Sunday, we're gonna try to bring you guys some interesting topics, something that we can relate to. We're gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it 100 with you guys. If you ever want to be a part of the show, just reach out to us, contact us, let us know, what it is that you want to talk about, and we'll let us go over it. And if we feel there's something that can bring some value to someone else, then we
Right.
get you on the show. So, Deanna, once again, it was another great episode, another great show, another great
I
topics.
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I said, we just got to we get through these things so fast, and
Mhm.
because like I say, it's like that when you're dealing with. I think it's like that when you're dealing with things that you and I can relate to. Okay.
Right.
When
Right.
it's topics that touch home, it's
Right.
easy to it's easy to deal with. It's easy to talk about.
Right.
Okay. All right. So let me hit this outro and
Okay.
just stay tuned with me. Hold on.
Thank you guys for tuning in to today's show. We greatly appreciated it. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday for another amazing episode of Situations, the podcast.
Okay, everyone. That's gonna conclude today's show. Once again, I'm your host, Kelvin.
And I'm your co-host, Miss Deanna. Thanks for tuning in.
We love to see you guys next week. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We have a guest next week lined up. So make sure you guys tune in. You don't want to miss it. Until then, see you when I see you. Peace.